So in this video, I'm just going to be talking about the essential oil blends that I mentioned that I use to help calm my son down, because obviously it's quite diluted, but the sense of being massaged when I apply it on him, and actually even on myself, the oils are supposed to have therapeutic properties, even just aromatherapy wise, but also some of them have been shown to calm down the nervous system, things like that. But basically I have this essential oil kit. This is just a cute little case that I recently got from Miniso, which is like a Japanese dollar store almost. It's just, you can put anything in it, and I chose to put these bottles in. I have even more, these are essential oils. I have even more downstairs in my fridge, because this has been an ongoing obsession for years for me, but so I slowly accumulated all this stuff. So basically it helps with autism, whether you have autism or your child has autism. It helps because generally with autistics, they're either craving sensory input or they're avoiding sensory input. And if you're a sensory craver or even avoider, it could be it can be easily cured by just what we call stims and fidgeting and things like that to help you think straight, right? Like a repetitive movement or behavior. And also autistic children often stim by hitting their head on stuff, or just for the sensory input that their system is craving, and to calm down. So you can do that in a variety of ways. Obviously exercise, spinning round and round in circles, or how they obviously autistics are famous for hand flapping and things like that, or otherwise, or they might want to avoid things, and just because their system can't handle all the sensory overload, and they might just what I often used to do, and I still do sometimes, is rock back and forth, and you're completely try to isolate yourself from everything. You huddle under a blanket, and sometimes you just have to be there for hours, just because everything is clashing, and there's too many senses and things going on, and there's no cohesion, there's no harmony. So so the great thing about making essential oil blends is that you can customize it for yourself or your child. Make sure you dilute it quite a lot, obviously, and you can figure out what notes and what type of blends really work on you or on your child. For instance, there's a very popular blend, which is I think it's called the Peaceful Child Blend, and there's a recipe for it online, and I used to make that all the time for myself and for my child, especially for my child, but it didn't really seem to have any effect on either me or him. And vetiver is touted as this really it's been proven to be really great for autistic kids, but I don't know, maybe it was just too concentrated or too potent. Maybe it has to be really, really diluted for us, but I found it quite unpleasant. So that's the great thing, is you can customize it, and then what happens is that throughout the day, first of all, it's working because when you initially apply it on the child, you're massaging the child, and then second, the therapeutic properties of the oil can kind of help your child's system and whatever. Like rose is supposed to be calming for a lot of things overlap. I mean, I can get into details, but people can do their own research, but ylang is supposed to be good for anxiety and this and that, and there's been studies on that, or frankincense is good for the immune system, whatever, right? So it's also helping your child on that level, especially because sometimes I would say with autism your immunity is compromised, and things are compromised just because you're always stressed and you're always tense. So it also helps soothe you, especially if it's a very pleasant aroma that you've created or that you've purchased. Oh yeah, you can just purchase it too, you don't have to make it, but then you have to try out different ones, and I think it's more fun to make things. And then you can mix it in with a carrier oil of your choice, obviously, right? And even that carrier oil can have good benefits for your child. Like I use jojoba, sometimes like a little bit of wheat germ as a preservative, wheat germ oil. You can use apricot kernel. I mean, you can use grapeseed, but it doesn't have a good shelf life. So then over time it can smell kind of stale. And obviously like coconut oil, which everyone always praises anyway because it's antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, very moisturizing. So, you know, whatever oil you find works well for you. You know, some people react to oils, and you have to make sure they're not like you have to make sure you get it from a good source, because the problem with essential oils is that there's so many synthetics and fakes available. Like never purchase your essential oils from Walmart. There's a scientist, and you can follow him on YouTube or Facebook, and he shows you the data about like all the fake essential oils that are being sold. So, you know, you might have to look around. But anyway, and then the other way that the essential oil would benefit you or your child is that sensory wise, throughout the day, you would be the child would be catching whiffs of it, and it's like a very harmonious, very pleasant feeling. So it's like a sort of like inadvertent stim or inadvertent sensory input that's reassuring and calming, especially if you make it a ritual, like, you know, when you massage your child with a blend, or even when you like put it on yourself, you make it a ritual to make it a very calming, peaceful, soothing environment, and very loving, and, you know, make sure your child feels safe and happy and content when you apply it. That way, throughout the day, when they catch whiffs of it or smell it on themselves, even just subconsciously, they will associate that, you know, it with the scent with those feelings that they felt when you applied it on them, you know, and it'll almost be like getting a hug from your mom, except, like, you know, it's really good, and it really, really works. It really helps my son. It helps me. Like, you know, for example, like right now I was driving, I'd made this cute little blend actually today, and I love it so much. I'll put the recipe in the description box. It smells amazing, like beyond amazing. And so I was driving, but it's subtle too because I diluted it quite a lot. And I was driving and I was getting like really tense. I always get tense when I'm driving. And I just caught a whiff of this throughout my drive, here and there, subtle like whiffs of this aroma. And something about it just, oh my God, it just soothed me, it calmed me, made me feel so focused and happy. So that's why I think essential oils are really good for autistics, especially because we're prone to anxiety, we're prone to, you know, all kinds of problems. So instead of like always having to, you know, like say you're in a situation, like say when I'm driving, right? I'm in a situation I can't stim, I can't, you know, rock back and forth, I can't like bite my hand or something, which I tend to do sometimes when I'm tense. I can't, you know, hit my head, which I also tend to do sometimes when I'm tense. You know, I can't like, you know, the vestibular input. I can't go, you know, lean over a bed, hang my head upside down, which is also really calming for autistics. I can't do any of those things, but I can smell this beautiful perfume-ish aroma, except it's also got lots of therapeutic properties. It's not like some store-bought perfume which might have a lot of synthetic chemicals, or, you know, some perfumes actually agitate you. Like, they're meant to agitate you. They're meant to like stimulate you in almost an unpleasant way, but like to get a sort of sense. I don't know, like perfumes are a whole other field. This is just a nice DIY natural way people can help out themselves or their children, especially if they're autistic. So like with this blend, I just love it. I keep them in these jars, the various blends that I have for myself, for my child, and I'll just show you a couple of the oils that I have. This is a very reputable company. It's De Rosier International. This is their ylang. Like, everything's pure, it's been validated scientifically, and is very good value compared to many other companies. This is rose oil, like all of these great. This is their vanilla. This is Sage. This is a Canadian brand. I think this is less value for your, like, compared to this Des Rosier, even with the shipping cost. This is still less, like, you're paying more for less basically. But they also sell pre-made blends, so you don't have to like do all the trial and error. You can just pick out a pre-made blend, and they have diffusers, and you can diffuse it in your home, which I used to do, but I gave up doing that. Just because in a house full of kids, you know, you never know when a child might, you know, accidentally knock over a diffuser or touch it. It's dangerous. This is cacia, I think. Yeah, cacia is also another good brand, but like for example, their sandalwood I find is subpar. So like it's almost trial and error, but it's fun. It's good. Oh, this is beautiful. I got this today. It's showing up. It's called Osmanthus Absolute, and you just need like a couple drops. It's got this beautiful, comforting aroma. It's really nice. So yeah, and then you can even purchase essential oils that'll help your autistic or, you know, special needs child with pain and stuff. So this is something that I got. It's called Dr. P's Super AI Serum. I just got it today, so I haven't had a chance to try it out on myself or my child too much, just a little bit on my sore ankle. It seemed to help. Yeah, it's got, like, it's made by the same scientist man I mentioned earlier. But you know, with autism, often I think overlapping, you have other conditions, so you have more tendency to maybe get injured or have aches and pains, or be sensitive even to the weather and have like strained muscles from that. Like all of those things I think often overlap with autism. So something like this might also be good to purchase. This brand Sage that I mentioned, they have a topical analgesic, pain remedy, headache remedy, various things like that too that you can try out. And they even have something just for kids to help them calm down before bed. So like someone could just purchase that and not even have to worry about making their own. But yeah, this is just like my tip for if you have an autistic child, something that'll really help them, I think. So yeah, thank you for watching.